know, start with Louis first. He was the first one on. So kind of how are you going? Well, introduce yourself. You are the man, Louis Perkett.
What's up, yo? I'm the man, Louis Perkett. Smashing cookies.
Smashing cookies.
No, man.
So
What was the
basically,
question?
basically, what
Good start, man. I'm glad I'm going first. That's sick. Thanks.
you're welcome. What's kind of like where you at? You're just nationals 4 weeks now, 4 or 5 weeks. Just kind of like how are you feeling with everything? Kind of where you at? What are you doing kind of now moving forward? Just kind of like summarize the past couple of weeks.
All right. So nationals were sweet. Um, I think I did pretty well. I think if I'd looked a little bit sharper on stage, I think I would have beat a few of those guys. Was just watching guys I should have beat walk right past me. So that's all good. So I'm just doing a bit of a shotgun off season at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's really it, man. I'm just trying to fill in a few holes. Like this upper chest of my brow's been a weakness my whole life. So hopefully I can fix that up real quick and then just get ready and go again. Like I think my physique's at a point where I can start to go and compete for a pro card. So
Yeah. So
time is still of the essence out there. So I still want to get in and get stuck in, especially while I look, half decent shape. I'd rather maintain that and keep going than go full FC off season.
Yeah.
Are you going to jump straight into season A? Are you?
Look,
Yeah. Busted.
Yeah, man. I might. Well, you never know, but I do, and I am. So,
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna do season A. I was gonna not say anything and just rock up and smoke you and Luke, but all good.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
That's cool though.
No, that's exciting. Like you're saying, so you feel like, and obviously, I guess you're talking with Ross and that, you kind of know that you're at that point where, like you're saying, you don't really need to do more long off seasons. You can kind of, jump season to season if you feel like it.
Yeah, I think, man, like one of the things that I think we're not exposed to that well in Australia, especially like competitive enhanced bodybuilding, is like competitive seasons.
Yeah.
Like you only get like 1, 2, maybe 3 shots if you decide to do another stage show. And as an athlete, like competitive bodybuilding, you need to spend more time in the heat, man. Like you need to spend more time in the competitive window. So I think that's kind of part of the process where you kind of just get the least exposure in a prep to that part of the process. You get 1 or 2 shots, however many practice peaks you did, and then that's it. So I think it'd be good to maybe do like a bit of a circuit. Like Ross is over in the UK. Like why not go and do Europe or something?
Yeah.
Go and see the world with Hannah while bodybuilding's at the forefront. It can take us around the world, man.
Exactly.
That's how you want it to be ideally anyway. Hey, like once you're a pro, that's how it's going to be anyway.
Yeah, man. And like you may as well get used to it. And the whole point of staying like online with business was so that we could be mobile to do these kind of things. So the time kind of comes where it's like, oh shit, I'm about to do it. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, man, I'm keen.
You kind of really have to, because I've having this conversation before, and it's just like we're so limited to literally two shows a year that can get you a pro card. Where you, like you're saying, overseas in America, it's like almost one month apart in certain situations. So it's just like you're so limited.
Yeah. Other countries are producing athletes, man, like producing them, and we're like really fighting for a card. So like, I reckon. Easy go and snatch a couple pro cards, a bunch of us off a couple little Italian men or something, easy peasy.
There's a lot of people that like have the potential now to get one and like are I guess like ready or at that stage where they can get one, but there's just the competition's so heavy here and we only have very little opportunity. That some say it might produce really good athletes, but it's also giving us less opportunity.
Do you think that contrary to that is that like traveling overseas is, it's not hard, but it is expensive. And I guess a lot of athletes maybe, I don't have that mobile freedom with work to kind of get over there, or don't have, sponsorships or, enough money to kind of get over there. But at the same time, like if you look at some of the girls that have just done Japan and then are doing Hawaii and that now, like
They're doing it.
you're also experiencing like such a broader amount of athletes too. So, even though you kind of it's that line of like, okay, you're at a top amateur in Australia, but are you still going to be that top amateur when you go overseas?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good to find that out early, don't you reckon?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I want to find. I want to find out how shit I am real quick so I can fix it.
So that's basically, so you're doing season 8. That's pretty
right.
much all out and open now.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag.
Exciting. How about you, Jaiden? How are you with 21 weeks out? How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. It's super. Oh, fuck. This is always the worst time. Like, this period's fucking shit. Everyone goes through it. It's at like 6 weeks before you start getting ready for prep, where like you're in that like maintenance holding phase, and like, gear comes down, food starts coming down, and you're just like basically trying to chill, but you get flatter and smaller, and you're not lean enough to look good yet. So you just keep getting smaller and flatter, but you're not lean to actually look good. So just you feel worse and worse. But then as soon as prep starts, and then everything kicks back up again, and then you start body fat actually starts coming off. It's fine, but yeah, it's just that boring period at the moment where I'm like, it hasn't officially started yet, but it's like you're just holding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so how many weeks do you reckon until like you 16 mark, or a bit further down before you kind of ball starts rolling and you feel like you're kind of in prep now? When
Oh, I'm late. I'm late as fuck because I don't go into a deficit really until fucking usually like 8 weeks out.
Okay.
Because usually I'm just like, yeah, I don't drop calories too quick. Otherwise, I just get too lean too quickly. So I
Yeah.
just I end up being like 10 weeks out, and I'm like, I don't even feel any different than off season yet. I'm not even focused yet. I'm just fucking still just, yeah, it's piss easy. Um, but yeah, like it'll start moving down slowly at 20 weeks. But yeah, new coach this time, so we'll see what happens and if there's anything different. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of differences though.
Still too early days to kind of decide what's really happening yet.
Yeah, what's gonna happen? Yeah, I have no fucking idea what the plan ever is. I just go by week to week, whatever Justin says. I'm just like, cool, yep, run with that.
It's good
Yeah,
mentality
I
to
have
have.
no idea what his plan actually is. No idea.
Yeah. Well, but it makes it easier for you, I guess, to just, less stuff to worry or stress about. You just kind of focus on the one thing at hand and just go with what it says and have the faith in the coach.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm not even really worried about it. Just like I said, I don't even know what his plans are, but he'll just give me the go each week, and I just follow that, and then it'll just happen.
Yeah. Will you two be in the same weight category or no?
I don't actually
I was
know,
just thinking
man.
that.
I think we will.
I don't know. There's a good chance, like, because it's what heavyweights is. They put it up to
Yeah,
under
102.
102 now because actually running off NPC rules instead of just fucking our own random shit. So under 102, but I'm still not sure because I'm starting a lot heavier than I did last time. Last time I started at 102 and I was on stage at 99. This time I'm fucking starting at 108, 109, and I'm not even on gear. So that'll go up. And then I usually only come down a few kilos. So fucking, yeah, I've no idea if I'll even make it under 102. Because I also, like, being a lanky dude, I need to look nice and full. So as long as I can bring out fullness, I might need to come in a bit heavier. So yeah, for my best look, I might need to be a little bit heavier, but I'll see.
It'll be interesting.
It might also be not like might be more competition trying to beat Louis than beat her super heavies as well.
No, but I
so
guess
I'm just gonna see.
in that sense, like let's just say for the sake of it, you do over 102, Louis does under 102, like, and you both win the class. At least like we may get to see you both fight it out in the overalls, which would be exciting anyway.
Well, that's the thing, bro. And like that's what I always say. Like people are like, oh, you're gonna try and suck down. I'm like, no, not if I don't have to. Like I'm gonna do whatever my best look is because at the end of the day, if I fucking suck down to the under 80s and I fucking won that, I would still have to verse whoever in the fucking whatever class. You know what I mean? If my best look is at 103, why the fuck would I bring it down just to do better in that class and then not look as good to try and verse the guys that are heavier anyway? Like whoever it is, I'm going to have to verse the winner of each class if you win an overall. So just come at your best weight. Cam George was 79 fucking kilos.
That's ridiculous. I still can't get over that.
No use me sucking down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your best look is always
There's
gonna.
no use sucking down. Like for me,
your best look's always gonna fare the best, no matter where it lands, anyway. So don't. I think chasing.
That's right. Yeah, exactly right.
Chasing weight is just pointless. It's a numbers game. That's not going to really get you anywhere.
I agree.
Especially in the end, man. Like that return on your numbers starts to get real not that different in those final weeks. Like ain't shit changing, but shit's changing. So weight is kind of a deceptive.
Yeah, that's right. You're just grinding yourself into the ground for another fucking kilo and a half.
Grinding yourself into the ground and your weight went up. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, bro. Yeah.
First question is, who is your current favorite like active bodybuilder? It can be open, classic, whoever. Who's like your favorite active?
Like person or physique?
Let's go both. Let's do physique first, and then let's do like as an athlete as a whole.
Jeez,
it's a hard one. Hey.
Yep. Is Jaiden frozen?
Yeah, I think so.
Hard. Man, I don't know. I'll go first then. Hey.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I like that. I like the aesthetic physiques are coming back.
Yeah.
So I'm loving seeing guys like Brandao and shit.
Yeah.
I really like his physique. I don't know, man. It's hard to pick one, isn't it?
I know.
Do you know who you would pick?
Physique wise, like I'm torn between like
me.
I love like a James Hollingshed. Like I just love that thick, muscular, dense, just huge physique. And then like I guess or even like a Ian Valier. But then I guess if you go to like younger, I'm kind of like Martin. I do really like Martin. He's kind of got that, same type of muscle, but he's got a little bit more aesthetic, like you're kind of saying.
And he's fresh. He doesn't look dead, he doesn't look drugged to death. He looks still quite healthy and young. That's
kind of like physique wise.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like Ian as the athlete.
Yeah.
But as much as his physique's gnarly as hell, I think there's so many guys that can slot in front of him for better physiques.
Yeah.
I like I don't know, like maybe like Samson or something.
Yeah, Samson. I really like him.
The grand unveiling of the new Samson is something I'm really looking forward to. Who else? Are we counting classic physique guys as well?
Yeah, because I'd say probably one of my favorite bodybuilders at the moment is Urs. I like Urs.
I like Ramon, man.
You like him?
He's probably actually my favorite current physique going around.
Really? I feel like he's not classic though. I feel like his structure
is fucking dense, bro.
He's just got them like Sergio Oliva meat hook arms,
Yeah.
I love it.
What about you, Jaiden? Any off the top of your head?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. Like I like the bigger, denser guys when it comes to like physiques, but yeah, like personality, there's heaps of fucking cool dudes, like all the fucking like Ian and all that. But yeah, when it comes to physiques, like I like the denser type of looks. Like even though the aesthetic guys are like nice, there's not enough of them in open bodybuilding where it's like you have like Andrew Jack or whatever, but the guys that are like more aesthetic is usually just because they're smaller and not big enough yet. Like Quinton looks awesome, like his shape is awesome, but it can't be my favorite physique yet because he's not big enough to stand with the other guys yet. So
he still looks somewhat like he's in his infancy.
Yeah, he still
needs so much to be done.
Yeah.
Mm. Which like he'd be fucking massive if you saw him in person, but the fact he's still like smaller than the other guys, and like he can't be one of my favorites because of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's hard, like it's interesting because we talk about, especially lately, we're kind of bringing that aesthetic while trying to that perfect balance. Like when you look at Rami, like he's huge, like ridiculously big, but he's even while being that size, he still has that small waist, wide shoulders, big legs. So then we look at someone like Samson, who's very similar too in that regard. It's just interesting. Like I feel like compared to the early 2000s, so like people like Jay, Justin, Dennis Wolf, and all that, we're not seeing that type of look anymore, and it's a shame because I actually do enjoy that look.
Yeah.
Because I don't even feel like I feel like Nick Walker is like similar, but he's still not. It's just not the same type of size, I guess, or structure. I don't know.
Nick's
I think it's just
Nick's physique is just confronting, man.
Yeah,
that's confronting. He's beating guys just on pure when you see him kind of stats.
Yeah.
How do you think he's looking going into the Olympia? Have you seen any clips from him?
I don't like.
I think he's going to be very freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing is with him, the reason he's not like how you're saying, like not the same as the other guys, even though he's just as big, as I genuinely think it's just because he's pretty fucking short. With those other guys like Jay and stuff like that, they weren't, and Dennis, like they weren't quite that short, but he's only like 5'7", so like that's a lot of muscle to stack on that frame.
That's a little dude.
That is a little dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
That dude stands on a couple phone books.
That's like, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually fucking completely off topic, but last I checked, Louis, fucking I went to lunch with Stan after the shows. Last said he's gonna jump into season A as well.
He's on season A
because he was so close to the because he's so close to the pro card that he's like he wants to go again. I don't know if it's like 100% locked in, but that's what he said to me when I was like, oh man, like what are you gonna do now then? Like what's the go? And he's like, man, straight back to it. He's like, talk to the coach, and I just want to get back in and fucking and go for it.
When you're in striking,
he was fucking close. I would have done the same.
Wait, if it's right there, get it. It's never a certain thing either. So you got to like be tenacious in your pursuit of it. You're not just going to have it handed to you like, oh yeah, I'm just going to walk it. No, and it never happens. Like
No, that's right, bro. Because even like that would be a decent battle. Because I mean, Halusi just posted as well that he said, and he wrote like season A 2023. So it looks like he's going to get ready and do it as well. So even those two together, like, will be a good battle to watch.
Right, I'm going to be in between those two dudes because I want to rematch with Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
Particularly super heavy is getting it over me, man.
Yeah, because you were, you would have been up against him in 2020, hey?
Yeah, 2020 season.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, it's hectic.
But will he do Queensland? Because you first know Queensland. Will he do Queensland again, or will he do Victoria this time?
I'm guessing he'll just do Victoria, yeah.
So have a fight with him at Nationals.
Bro,
yeah, he can't do anything.
Assistance. Jaiden, you should FaceTime him and talk him through it or something.
He's got a fucking girlfriend now. She can deal with him.
Jaiden needs to sort it out. Maybe I'll get Hannah to FaceTime G and they can talk him through
it. Guide him through it, baby steps.
Yeah.
Just give him support. He just needs support.
So what's your thoughts on like Derek Lunsford? And I guess we can put Samson in the same mix of like, coming into the O. Like a lot of people are saying they reckon he's kind of going to be, possibly top 5, easily top 10. Like, do you think he has the shape and it looks like, he's grown a lot into open, but do you think that he's still too fresh? Like, because this whole debate of like anyone from like 2nd to 10, it's interchangeable really, but
yeah,
do you think he is able to push into that, top 10 or even top 5? Like, well, what's your thoughts?
Easily, I reckon.
I'd definitely say top 10.
Yeah, he's not that small. Especially since not having to Like that guy's that big that when he would diet for 212, he would be sacrificing tissue all over, surely. You know? Like he always, I don't know if you remember, but like when he used to post like old pictures, he'd have huge legs in the off season. And then it would come to contest prep and you'd see him on stage and he always light as in the legs. You know, so I reckon he would have just dieted off so much weight. Because a lot of these 212 guys, the reason they make 212 is because they usually have a body part missing or something like that. You know, they're usually like a little bit of a gap in the physique, and that just frees up scale weight if you just don't have stuff. So I reckon if he doesn't have to over diet, pull down into a weight limit, and can just show up at his best look, like I was saying before, that's just going to be dangerous because no one's boxing with that structure. You know, like who can? Like who really can? If you put him next to anyone in the lineup, almost anyone in the lineup, and said, who would you rather look like? You'd probably pick him.
So then if you were to say, okay, let's say, I reckon Derek, Hunter, Rami, and Samson, they all have, to me, have, that similar, they're just overly like, oh, here he is. The overly large.
But now he's got to figure out the camera.
Now it's going to be on speaking view for the fucking first half an hour.
What's going on? Fuck me. That was a mission and a half.
Hey, man.
Well, at least you made it. At least you made
it. I couldn't copy it across to my computer. It wanted me to click on it. Then I forgot my Instagram password, and it's fine. I'm here now. It's all good.
That's all that matters. You made it. You made it.
How you guys doing?
Good, man. Yourself?
Good, man.
Well, before we put a hold on the conversation that we're having, we just kind of jump in. We just kind of, I just did an introduction with Louis. He kind of explained what he's doing, like your post show, and kind of announced that he's doing season A. If you didn't know that,
I'm in. Good.
Yeah. And then I just asked Jaiden kind of how he's feeling, 21 weeks out, and I just kind of wanted to hear, your point of view, how you're feeling 21 weeks out. What's the game plan? He's going like smoothly at the moment, what's kind of going on?
Man, everything's really good actually. A lot better than the start of last prep. It's everything's quite we're in a very good starting point, just as far as like condition this far out. Because my weight is very, very similar to where I ended my last off season. I think I ended that at like 108, somewhere around there. And the heaviest I got this time was 109. That was a few weeks ago, and now I'm a little bit lighter. But condition's a lot better. Food's a lot higher. So all me and Sam have done now, because we just caught up at 23 weeks out and kind of went over everything. So now we're just implementing a bit of cardio just to get the body moving. Yeah. No real changes to food, just a slight decrease, but we're just kind of milk cardio as much as we can, because that has its own benefits around obviously just, general fitness, heart health, and the thing I think people don't realize as well, like adding more cardio in as well as, not just from a fat loss perspective, but also just from a training intensity perspective.
Yeah.
It's harder to do a set of 50 reps if you're not, if you're gassing out at 20 reps, right? So if we can increase fitness now, it allows me to train harder for longer. So yeah. But as I said, there's no need to really drop the hammer too far right now, which is good. So we're just
still too early.
Good. But yeah, no complaints at all, man.
So is the plan to what's the overall plan for the show?
Overall plan?
Bring a deeper conditioning compared to
absolutely. Yeah. So the biggest things for me from last show was just conditioning. Yeah. And that was completely in my control. I was just fucking up coming into it because I had extenuating circumstances that was fucking with my mental health basically, and I was allowing that to dictate what I was doing. So it took me a few months afterwards to kind of sit with everything and realized where I went wrong with a lot of things. And to be honest, man, I think again it's very important going into a prep having mental strategies to deal with stuff, because 6 months over your life something's going to pop up. It's impossible for your life to just be gravy the whole time. So having those strategies in place, and it's not a case of if something pops up, it's when.
Yeah. How are you going to do it?
Exactly. Just having that support network there, having things laid out, having kind of a plan in place of when shit does hit the fan, how am I going to respond? What are my non-negotiables? How do I conduct myself moving through that? So yeah, this time a big focus for me and Sam was just conditioning. This off season I was doing 2 back days, 2 hamstring days, really trying to bring that up, which I have, which is good. And then that's pretty much it, man. Yeah, that was the main thing. And just so I can my biggest thing is I just want people to think I'm going to die backstage. I just want to be that lean.
That's silence.
Wait, next minute dies backstage.
Actually dies backstage. Well, shit.
Goal achieved, man.
Called it here now. Called it first.
I hope that's last on the bucket list, you know?
Yeah, legit.
Well, at least sounds like you got a good game plan set and you're kind of a lot more zoned in and at least focused or, in a better place mentally. So that's, I guess, a highlight, and it's going to be beneficial to anyone going into a prep. So it's exciting to hear. I'm excited to see kind of where things go.
It'll be good, man. Yeah. And it's a big thing too was like, that being my first IFBB show, because the last time I competed was 5 years before that. Yeah. And that was an ICN and I was 19 and I looked like a 12-year-old boy. So, taking 5 years off, putting the muscle on I did, and then coming in, I know what to expect from myself. I knew kind of where I stood with Jaiden and stuff, and coming in, I was like, fuck, he looks really good. I was like, shit. So, and then coming into it, I was just like, well, we're just going to see what happens. And so now having a bit more context around, okay, well, that's what I actually look like now on stage. Yeah. And then moving on, 6
got the right direction to head towards now.
Yeah. And so now I have more of an idea, clearer picture of, okay, well, that's where I stood. This is what I'm capable of. And because again, like I've been told by like Sam and other guys and stuff, like, what they think I can do and all this stuff, but it's one thing to hear it and another to believe it, and actually see it and actually have that own vision in your head. So that was the difference of start of last prep to this one, because start of last prep, and Jaiden will tell you as well, I looked like a fucking chunk, like had a lot of visceral fat, like just hit a lot of the muscle that I had. So as I got leaner, it became more apparent. But so now I'm actually saying like, oh, okay, cool, that's actually what I want.
And then you thought the best decision to do while you're fat was to shave your whole head.
Big knob on your head.
He's out here looking like a boss.
Oh god. Yeah.
Bro.
No, I 100% agree with that, because it's kind of, I haven't stepped on stage yet, and I want to, but I don't want to step on stage and get mogged. Like I want to do the mogging, so it's just like, at the same time, like how far do I keep pushing it back till then not actually going, oh, okay, well, first prep's not always gonna, you're not gonna get the results that you want, unless you're a freak, and I know that I'm not a freak, so it's just kind of like, eventually I'm gonna have to stop pushing it away and just do it, so then I at least have a sense of direction, like you're saying.
Yeah, and that, because it was like that for me for a while, man, as well, because I remember, because I started working with Sam in April of 19, I think. And I remember having a few conversations with him, and we were just like, right, we'll go into an off season, like do a good push and put some size on it and look at doing whatever. And it got to end of 2019, early 2020, like just before COVID had hit, and we were kind of just hit. He was just like, so what are we doing? Are we doing a show or what? I was like, oh man, I just don't know. Like, because at the time, like, because I've had gyno since I was 13 through puberty, non-gear related. So that was always a thing in the back of my mind. I remember hearing, I was just,
wait, real quick. Okay. Pause. So, fun fact that Adam actually told me once. He was like, there's a correlation between guys getting gyno through puberty and other soft tissue growth. So it's like a dude having gyno in like his adolescent years is a pretty good indicator that he's got a huge knob. Just that guy to say
it
that.
Is. I saw it tanning.
He did.
Yeah. It doesn't. No.
Oh fucking hell. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
There we go.
So moving on. I appreciate you. I see what you did. I like that.
Hey, what do you do after that? Yeah, that's good though. Anyway.
That's funny. All right.
Yeah. So, now we'll start believing Adam.
Oh god.
Well, yeah.
Now he speaks the truth.
Oh god. But yeah, so I remember like having those conversations with Sam in the back of my mind. I was like, fuck, I don't know if I want to commit to doing a show, get to like 6 weeks out, and these gyno starts to really pop out and like come through. And and I was in the same token as well. I was thinking, well, do I have enough muscle to stand up there as well? Because before I met Louis, like I used to stalk his feed because we had a mutual friend that he grew up with, which I've told you about, huh?
Luke's telling everyone he's a fan first, isn't it?
Yeah, I was a fan first.
That's a fact, though.
I remember seeing this company. He was like 18, squatting like, was it 260 kilos or something stupid?
Yeah, man, that's why my knees are fucked now. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, I'm seeing all these guys. I'm just like, fuck, well, these are the guys I'm potentially going up against. So I'm like, I don't want to I don't want to get up there and get lolled. I don't want to, I'm not here to just get walked over. And Sam just sat me down. He's like, "But just shut the fuck up." He was just like, "Your guidance not that bad. Just commit to the show." And that's the biggest thing, I think, is at some point you just got to be like, right, well, whatever happens, happens. I can't control who shows up. I can't control what, Michael or whoever the judges are. Just roll in and just do the show and just do your best. Because at the end of the day, and I think you were saying this not too long ago, Louis, like it's, a placing's all well and good, but you can't control that. And so if you can take that variable out and like, I want to win, but at the end of the day, winning against myself. So being the best version of myself, everything I can, like that's what winning is.
Yeah, look, most people that do a bodybuilding show don't win. So chances are that's going to be you. So you better find a way to walk away from it and make it a positive experience.
100%.
The best way to do it.
Bro, absolute. If your sole focus is, well, if I don't get first place, this whole thing was a waste. Like, fuck me. You just spent so much money on food, gear.
Yeah.
But you've just pushed aside other relationships. You probably put stress on your partner that's now just for what? Like,
yeah, man, that's going to be a really short career too.
Yeah.
Real short.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be, you kind of like,
what I actually.
Oh, you go.
What I actually end up saying to a lot of my clients as well, who are in the same boat, and they're like, they want to compete, but they're scared. I'm like, bro, the like level that you'll be at a year from now, have competed, will be so much fucking higher than what you will be if you hadn't have competed.
Yeah.
Like if you look at, like, say you, like, hypothetically, say you're doing an April show like we are, like the level that you'll be in July next year, you'll look fucking 3 times as good as what you did if you didn't compete in April.
Yeah.
Because you'll be like, holy fuck, I could never,
If you just stayed in an off season and went till April or June or whatever it is, versus actually when the prep come in, because your body just gets so much more sensitive. And like big thing I've noticed, one thing I noticed for me, Jaiden, as well, is we're actually able to like grow into shows, and same with Louis, I noticed as well. Like because everything gets so meticulous, like nothing's missed, like cardio's on point, sleep's on point, training's on point, it's just like a subconscious thought of just like everything is just on. Whereas in your off season, like, time I can just chill. I don't have to like eat all the food or train as hard. Like there's those thoughts there. But when there's a time crunch for a show, it just goes out the window. It's like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
When you come out the other side of it, your body's just on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like
you won't actually believe how good you'll be when you could say now, like, if you're around, I don't know, fucking 80 kilos or 70 kilos, whatever you are now, and then you're like fucking, I'd like to be fucking 5 to 10 kilos heavier, lean, like the weight that you'll actually be shredded a year from now, a few months after the show, you're like, fuck, I was hoping for this like 3 years from now. You're like, how the fuck did I get this just happened? Because you just stay so lean and your weight will just go up. And every show that you do, you just stay leaner and leaner in the off season. Just every show you do, you end up staying leaner because you have more muscle.
Yeah. I feel like you've all just convinced me to do a show now.
I think you should.
Do it.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
Wait, just go. You just got to go. You just got to. The first show, and this is what I say to the guys like coach, just go.
Yeah.
Who cares if you win? Don't put the focus on that. You need to understand the process because after, you know what it's like. You guys know what it's like. As soon as you finish your prep, first thing you do is turn around and look at all the shit you could have done better and how much shit was there after the show. You didn't realize how hard you actually needed to push.
Yeah.
You were just like, 20 minutes of cardio.
Yep.
You know?
It's like the day of the show.
Yeah.
It's day of the show when you walk backstage and see every cunt there, you're like, fuck, I should have done so many things better.
It's when you see bodybuilder dry and lean for the first time. That's when it is.
Oh, bro.
You're like,
you know what that actually was? Yeah, that actually was for me. 2020 as a junior, I was training like up in my area where I am now. There's no other fucking bodybuilders around here. Like I was the only other dude doing it, right? And I was 21 years old, my first show. And I was seeing myself and I was like, how am I not going to win? I was like, I've never seen anyone before, right? Like I've never seen a bodybuilder actually before. I was like, how's anyone going to beat this? Because I've never seen better. Like I've never been able to comprehend better. And I walk back to the athletes meeting and I literally see Louis at the athletes meeting. I hadn't even said hey to him. I saw him there and he was standing with his shirt off, like just got tanned. And I was like, fuck. I immediately shut myself. Yeah. I was like,
2020.
2020. Yeah.
I was peeled.
And I was like, yeah.
That's for you, bro.
I was peeled 2020. I was
Bro,
on the
walked
fucking
in.
emaciation calories.
Yeah, no, I walked into that fucking athlete meeting room. Louis just standing there like most stoic fucking look on his face, and I was like, oh fuck. Like I was just like, I immediately didn't want to do the show.
That's right, man. Somebody's got to do it. I'll do it.
That's a good point. Like, how do you just made me think of a question of like, when you've done everything you possibly can, all 23 weeks, you've checked everything you possibly can off, you've worked your hardest, and you go into the athletes meeting and you see other competitors and you see people twice the size, or if, for example, you see someone tanning and you're like, fuck. Like, when you saw Louis, like, how do you stop the mind games that must start? Like, surely, like, doubting yourself.
At that point, it's too late. That was what I thought. Because especially at the state show, like I was holding a fair bit of water, and yeah, my condition wasn't where it should have been. And so I remember like going in, and I was, it's when me and Jaiden were getting lined up to do our tans, and I was just kind of looking around, and I was just seeing guys who were just like I was watching like Jaiden Riggsy and stuff, like walk around, George, all these guys, and I was just like,
fuck.
Like all like Callum Hins was there too. Like I was, that cup's fucking peeled, and so I was looking around, and I was just like, all right, well, and same thought. I was just thinking about everything I could have done better, but I was just like, well, I can't do it. What am I going to do now? So and in my mind, it's like, well, the worst thing I can do now is stress about it because my body will go to shit. Because the thing that people don't realize as much is that the more you stress, the worse you will look. Because your cortisol shoots up, you will hold more water, you will just look terrible. Whereas if you can just let that stuff go with the thought of, if I can just let this go and be as calm as possible, I might look 1 or 2% better. Because I'm just not as stressed. But the thing too is as well, you might surprise yourself because I had no fucking idea I was going to place where I did.
It's always in your head, man. It's always in your head.
Yeah.
You're a bodybuilder. You think you're shit.
You can't see yourself.
Yeah. I still think I'm 14 years old and 60 kilos.
Yeah, man.
I feel that every time my brother is like super skinny and lanky, or like how I used to look, and every time I see him, I'm like, fuck, that's what I look like. But then I sense, wait a minute, I'm actually kind of bigger than him. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right, we'll get back to the questions. What is your favorite thing to do in prep, like to pass time? So once you've done your cardio, you've done your
Luke's is going to 7-Eleven.
No. It's smoke a blunt and go 7.
Masturbate? What's up? Just kidding. It's smoke blunts. That's kidding as well.
Just to pass time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my routine. Was I'd finish everything at the end of the day. I'd get home and I'd fucking just one up and I'd go to bed. And I'd wake up.
Oh man. Very
good.
good.
Yeah. Anyway,
what about you, Louis?
What was the question?
Gonna top that.
What was the question?
How do you pass time in prep? Like, what's your favorite pastime activity?
Oh, bro. I don't know. It depends what stage of prep. If you're in that part where you can be bothered exercising, I'll just walk. But when you're in that vegetative state, I'll probably just fucking play a bit of WoW on the laptop and just disappear and fight some dragons for a little while, man. Between meals, just space it out. Oh yeah, easy as man.
100% just disassociating.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
100% else. Whatever you can do to disassociate completely. Mine's always just like that moment where I'm fucking sitting on the couch and I have my tub of oats for the night, and I'm like, this is what I've woken up today for.
Yeah.
That's
like, finally. Yeah.
So like basically the goal is to find that one little niche, I guess, that completely, like you're saying, dissociates, distracts you from everything else, bodybuilding, everything else that you need to do or you have done, just to fill in.
Well, because you just need something. Yeah, you need something that's just gonna just disassociate and completely fucking just wipe your mind of stress. Because you spend all day like fucking on the ball and like hitting everything you need to hit. So there's just like you need to find that time throughout the day where you don't have to worry about a fucking thing. You just sit down and nothing matters. Just for half an hour, nothing fucking matters at all.
It's important.
I used to like saunas during prep, Like that was really good. Like after cardio and stuff, I'd love to just go sit in the sauna for like 20 minutes. Because again, nothing's going on. It's like you can't do anything but sit there. So I
Yeah.
just chill, I just put some music on and just sit there, relax. And again,
until your
just
fucking
helps
phone
build-
overheats.
What was that?
Until your fucking phone overheats, and then you're bored.
Well, yeah, then you leave it outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool down. All right,
But just filling in time is the biggest thing. I think it's just whatever that was, just keeping yourself busy.
All right, let's just say you'll win your pro card eventually, whenever that is. You're going to be pros. What is like your dream pro show? Like outside of the Olympia, like obviously you'll want to make it to Olympia, but what is like would you rather do an Arnold? Like, is you most excited about doing an Arnold? Like, is it winning New York Pro, Chicago?
I think me and Louis talked about this a while ago, didn't we, Lou? It was like all three of us like backstage at like the NY or something like that.
That's sick.
Yeah.
How sick would that be?
Yeah.
Be a good time. But I'd love to do it.
That'd be fucking cool.
Go to you'd want to do one of the hella big shows.
Yeah.
Just to tick it off the
You
list.
got to, yeah. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Even if you come 16th, that's fine. Doesn't matter as long as you did it.
Yeah,
That's the same thing. Yeah. You made it.
Yeah, I think when you do that, you definitely don't want to squander the large amount of experiences that you're exposed to. Like, you work so hard, take every single one that you can, especially if you're in shape and it's just a short plane flight. Go.
Yeah,
you do it anyway. It's your job now. It's what you worked for. Go.
Literally your career. Yeah. It's literally your career. But I reckon like a massive benefit of doing the big shows is like doing the Arnold, the New York, anything like that. Like, you're gonna actually end up being around those fucking top Olympians. Like, you're gonna be around them for a period, and like just the more you're around them, the better you're gonna be just from influence. Like,
the more that can become your environment, all the people you associate.
That's right.
With.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line though from? Because I agree, I think it's important. Like you're saying, it's your career now. If you're in good shape, you want to do this show. You want to be around those people, be around the people that are forefront, that are winning shows. Surround yourself with like-minded people to continue to grow. But where do you draw that line between like, understanding your genetic threshold, and then also, okay, I can work harder. Like, do you think it's possible? Because the stipulation or the stereotype is a lot of Australian pros don't have pro careers. So like, where do you think it's outside of being segregated and okay, you guys travel overseas and do pro shows, like do you think it's just purely that it falls in line of, okay, that's just my genetics, I'm not going to win and I have to find a means elsewhere? Like, do you kind of get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, where do you draw the line between, I suppose, chasing the dream and realizing that you might cut out for it?
Yeah,
at that high level.
Well, I think a lot of it is down to environment, like we just said. Like, you just said like where's the line between being in that environment and then just not having it. Well, and not a lot of Australian pros have had good careers, but they also haven't had the environment because no one's fucking just said fuck this, I'm moving to the US and being around the people I need to be around. So in my mind, I'm like, that's what the real fucking goal is like, I'm sick of being fucking isolated over here. Like, go to where all the good people actually fucking are. Like, even Luke can justify this as well, like how much we grown just from not moving, but like having some sort of a life or connections in the Gold Coast. Like, just because everyone was so much better down there. Like, once we sort of met people down there, so, started training with Sam and stuff down there, we're like, that just leveled us up like crazy. So it'll only be the same thing again when you fucking go to the environment that's even better than the Australian environment. And no one's really fucking done that. Like, everyone's built lives here and sort of attempted pro shows and stuff like that. But I genuinely believe you have to be over there.
Yeah, it just makes it so much harder too, because like there's a big difference between like living in Queensland and being like, well, I'm going to go do the Arnold in Columbus, versus going and living in California or just a state over in the US and being like, I'll go to the Arnold, because it's a big difference in cost, a big difference in time and organization.
Yep.
Like, it's fucking like, and again, like if you've got you've got New York Pro, Chicago, you've got fucking Tampa, you've got Texas, like you got all these different shows to pick from. It's not just like season A, season B. They're all spread out throughout the year leading up to the Olympia. So
that's right.
It's so much opportunity to compete over there.
Yeah, because even I remember Sam when we were in fucking middle of COVID, if you remember, Luke, and Sam was like, half started a prep. He got
He's
to like
getting ready
10
for
weeks out and
he's getting ready for
like
Boston,
3 shows
I
or
think.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was saying he's like, yeah, this is going to cost me like 20 grand or whatever
Mm.
to go around and do like all 3 shows, and it's
Yeah.
like yeah, there's still definitely going to be expense wherever you are, but fuck me, not that bad.
Yeah, I know.
So that
Yeah.
travel cost.
You're better off trying to make it a living expense, not a travel expense. Just
Yeah.
That's right.
I just think if you're gonna go all out, you're gonna probably have to leave most of your loved ones behind anyway, man. So you gotta do that shit for yourself, especially if you've been given a gift. It's up to you to exploit that shit and make a life from it. So
100%.
don't 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door, because you're still standing in the doorway. Move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%.
Hard though, right? You gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Good way to
for
put
it.
it, man. Yeah.
It's kind of like learning to put yourself first. Like, I feel like it's such a simple thing that we kind of talk about, but a lot of us actually don't realize we don't do that. Like, you got to take that leap. We got to put ourselves first. We got to make the sacrifices, face what we want, because sometimes we get too attached to, or I guess too comfortable to what we already kind of know, and we're, I guess, scared to branch out in some way.
Yeah. Complacency is a silent killer, man. That'll get you the worst.
Yeah. What do you think is a solution? No, not a solution. Yeah, I guess a solution.
An effective approach to combat that?
No,
Yes.
well, sure.
Plan it out. Plan it out. You're a bodybuilder. You're gonna break it down into segments and seasons. This is if this is what you're asking.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna break it down into like, how can I avoid complacency? You need to draw some deadlines and work back from that, because a deadline creates the urgency. No complacency when there's urgency. You know what I mean? So start to plan plan windows of periods of time. That these seasons are going to be on the horizon and certain shows, and so just pick your dates, work backwards. And then that way, if you can break your timeline this big into 10 little pieces this big,
Yeah,
you're probably going to move more effectively and with a little bit more speed, and you'll be more onto your shit, because you won't also have that this is dragging feeling to whatever you're trying to do, because the next window of time is upon you constantly.
well, that's important.
Picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
It's just interesting because the more, what you were saying and stuff like that, and just in regards to, because I've just been trying to think, like, the point of the podcast, and the point of the reason why I started this was to, like, long term, how can we help bridge the gap between Australia and, obviously USA and Europe, and how can we, because we are so segregated, because of things like travel cost and the number of shows we have, what do you think is a possibility or a way that we can, I guess, improve the competitive nature in Australia? Like, is there a way that we could fit more shows in? Because I'm pretty sure, like, there's a possibility that we're never going to have another open show here. Since the last one with, Sam, Luke, Nathan, everyone that competed then, that's apparently like there was the last official open show. So, like, how are we, I get, okay, it's being pro and all that, is bigger over there. So, okay. And, that's where the Olympia's held. So, okay, if you make a pro and you want to do that transition, no worries. But how can we help more amateurs or help, more opportunities? Like we're saying, like, there's so many over there in a year, but we have 2 opportunities here to win a pro show. Like, do you give out 2 pro cards per show, and then that's 4 opportunities? Do you do a third show? Like, what are your guys' ideas or thoughts on that?
100% they need a third show, especially at this point when every show that they do is breaking the record for the biggest show in Australian history.
Yeah, they've got the capacity.
Every show they do, Tony's like, this is the biggest show in Australian history, which is fucking awesome. But it's like,
going up, yeah.
If every show is bigger and bigger, then make a third one. They already had to give the women a separate day. Like, they just about need to give bikini their own fucking day. They need to make a third show. And I don't really like, as much as it'd be nice to do 2 pro cards per show, you couldn't be the guy that got second and got a fucking pro card.
Yeah,
like,
fuck that.
unless it's only because the shows aren't big enough. Like,
Yeah.
that's fine when it's the amateur Olympia because you have, people of a higher caliber from, all across the world that are there. And they go, oh yeah, first and second. Like, you're good to be fucking second, even third at the Olympia,
Yeah.
at the amateur
They actually
Olympia.
have pro physiques. They're not just
Yes, that's right. But being, getting second at a fucking amateur show just for people around Australia, like, it's not, doesn't warrant a pro card. As much as even the people may have pro physiques and may be ready. Like, there's a few guys in this show, or like we were just saying before, like fucking Louis doing season A, we're all doing season A, Stan's doing season A, Halusi just posted he's doing season A. There's a few people that can, get the card, but you're not, like, it's not as warranted as like, getting second overseas somewhere. So I don't think they can give second place a pro card. Like, it wouldn't fucking look good, but they need a third show for sure.
So would you say to that third show, like, 'cause I was just thinking, you'd have it in the middle between season A and season B, so it'd be like, you'd have it'd be shifted, so it'd be season A, season C. But then, would you necessarily have to change? Because I guess in that sense, even though I guess you would say they're kind of close together, at least then it gives, let's say athletes like you guys more opportunities that are at that top amateur level. Like you're saying, like people like Mike, people like Stan, like Louis, like, fuck, now I'm having a mind blank. Just those, yeah, literally, like Tim before he's, lost all, dropped 20 kilos and that, like, these pro level physiques, I guess you can do season back to season, so you can have like that 4-5 week intermittent break and
makes
then
you a little bit,
or like you're saying, when you grow into shows like yourself, it's easy to transition into that middle show if you need or want.
Yeah,
because
it's weird because, like, it's a bit of a weird time frame if you did like, fucking April and then July or something. Like, that'd be a weird time frame where it's like, it's not enough to stay fucking lean, but it's also not enough to put on size. So it's like, that'd be a weird time frame, but it could be beneficial if it's like you're thinking about the season A, the April shows, and then you're like, oh, I need a bit of extra time. Let's just go for the middle of the year rather than waiting another fucking 6 months all to the end of the year again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just on, I think purely on the fucking argument of, like, the amount of people that are doing the shows, we need a third one just on that basis.
I think, though, a concern about doing a third show is, even though it's the lineups are getting deeper and it's more popular, I think a third show might dilute the competition a little bit too much. Because even if you're just looking at the spectators and the amount of people in the stand, if you remove a fraction of those competitors, you're going to remove a fraction of the audience every time. So I think that the overall grandeur of the shows will decrease, and the quality of the lineups will likely decrease. I think we're better off riding the wave on the up and up than maybe adding in, this is my opinion anyway, a mid-year show, because, again, that's an odd time frame to work with as a bodybuilder. Like, what do? You just struggle with post-comp eating and then try and diet for a show, and it's a fucking shit fest, Not good.
Even leave the fucking mid-year pro qualifier just for men's physique and bikini. At least that would be handy.
Yeah, wait, that's a great
That would
idea.
actually be a really good idea.
30,000 bikini girls, man. It might just speed it up a little bit.
Well, that's what they did in fucking, I think it was 2020. They did a mid-year pro qualifier for fucking men's physique and bikini.
And they did the bikini pro show, and it was sick.
Yeah, and they should definitely keep that, because there's literally there was I think 5.
There was 5 A, B,
bikini,
C,
like
D,
novice. Yeah, like fuck me. They need their whole day by themselves, man.
Yeah, they need a day, really.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because that kind of just, I guess, segues into another question, which is, do you think that bodybuilding, I don't want to use the word alive. Like, I think bodybuilding is, it is going as strong as it can, but I guess in comparison, like, do you think that is because of the number of competitors of bikini, because bikini is so large? Like, do you think the women in that regard are kind of keeping the sport afloat to some degree? Because, like you're saying, like,
they're definitely funding it. large.
Yeah, it's a money grab for sure. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking true. They're
Well,
definitely funding it. Like, I think that bodybuilding will always be fucking bodybuilding, and I think people are always going to want to see the fucking bodybuilders. But classic physique and bikini, that's getting more people involved. I think that's making the sport grow so much. Like,
yeah.
but I think bodybuilding is always going to be like the fucking it's like the 100-meter sprint at the Olympics. That's what everyone's so fucking keen to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like on that, do you think that, especially with, I guess, in regards to, even the past year, a lot of, young pro athletes and that, have passed away and stuff like that. Do you think with a lot of health concerns and, health management that, bodybuilding is kind of going through at this point in time and will continue to go through that, there's that debate of people are not wanting to get that big anymore. So
yeah, 100%.
There's a bit of a scare about it. And because, granted, I have those thoughts as well. And I'm sure we all do to an extent. Because when you see guys like, I remember when Dallas McCarthy passed away, I was getting ready for my first show and stuff. And then, as I moved into the enhanced side, that was something that was on my mind a lot. I was like, this guy's 26. I'm like, I'm 25 next month. I'm like, he was a year older than me. And granted, a fucking lot bigger than me too. But again, if we're thinking of, well, that's where I want to go, that's on the back of your mind. But at the end of the day too, it's everyone has their own circumstances going on. And you never know what people are doing behind closed doors. So, I think the biggest thing for a lot of people is just as long as you're doing your due diligence with blood pressure, blood work, like, not being stupid with drugs, which I think is a big thing that's coming through now, especially with younger people, because it's being popularized by social media. That's one thing. And I think, too, people are moving away from, like, hard training and doing those just basic things, just getting the food in, sleeping, like training fucking hard, because those three pillars of bodybuilding are like what makes an athlete. Drugs just, they're the, I guess you could say, icing on the cake. They're a little bit more than icing on the cake, but they're like, they help refine everything and fill things out, but they're not the baseline at all. But it seems to be now that when people are like, someone might train for a year and go, cool, I'm going to do a show. All right, cool, let's add X, Y, and Z. It's like straight off the gate. They won't even compete naturally first. Like for me personally, I trained for 5 or so years naturally before I competed. And then the year later I started. And then I took another X amount of years before I actually did an IFBB show. I think just everyone wants it like that. But bodybuilding's a long game. Like, stop trying to put 10 kilos on in 1 year. Like, because you think about the amount of stress that puts on your heart, your organs, like everything. It's a lot. But I think people think they're indestructible. It's like, just take your time, enjoy it. Like, don't need to rush.
No, I agree with that. It's like kind of that, I was having this conversation with someone else before, and it was like, during that, I guess that 20 to 30, even like, you kind of, that mindset of like, I'm invincible almost. You're kind of not even really thinking about it. You're like, give me it all. I'll do everything. I don't care. You're kind of chasing dreams. And then it's like kind of, that mid 30s, into your 40s, you kind of like, oh shit, like, there is still so much more to life, but you kind of then that thought kind of, I guess, kicks in of, oh, I'm not invincible. Like I thought, I am going to die eventually. So it's just kind of like,
And do you know what that is? And you know what that is too, bro? Is that so? As males, our prefrontal cortex of our brain doesn't develop until we're 25 plus. So all these guys from like 20 to 25, roughly, you don't give a fuck. And especially when gear's in there, that's exacerbated. You're just like, I am Superman. Like, nothing can kill me. I'm the man. And then you start getting a bit older. And it's funny because I was saying to my partner longer, I've noticed within the last year, and because the prefrontal cortex is around decision-making and consequences and actually registering what those consequences might be. So it's funny, over the last year, all of that has now shifted for me. And so now I think about, all right, well, if I'm doing this, what is that going to look like in 6 months, 2 years' time, or 5 years' time, or 10 years' time? What does that look like? You know what I mean? And I think that's something big that a lot of people don't think about when they're younger. So they just do all the shit, and then they get to mid to late 20s, and they're like, oh, okay, I can kind of see like the back end of what I've been doing. I didn't really think about that then. It's just a part of your brain like developing as a young male.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right though, Jake. That like people just don't want to be that big anymore.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I understand. Like, I get it. Like, and that's why classic's so popular. Like, everyone just is. It's much more appealing to look like that, and like realistically, not so much that actually having a good career, like, but it's a lot more achievable, or like a better chance of
Can
a better
happen.
chance of being achievable is actually building to that size. And it's what we're talking about, sort of similar to what we're talking about before. Before Luke was on, when we're saying like in prep, when ducking up away, you try so much harder just to get that last little bit off. Well, it's similar with bodybuilding, where it's like you have to put in so much more to actually get that, to be a bodybuilder, not just classic physique.
Yeah.
Not that I want to take anything away from them, but like Callum, for example, like Callum's, pro in April. He's super fucking dedicated, one of the hardest workers I know. But he literally couldn't eat in the off season. Like, dude had to eat like 3,500 calories. Like, before I remember chatting to him in like fucking 2021. Dude's eating like 3,500 calories, and he's like starving, and he's like, yeah, because he can't eat anymore because he's fucking 15 kilos above his weight limit, and he's like, yeah, he can't push it too hard because he's too big, you know what I mean? And he's a bit different because he can put on size so easily, but like, a lot of these guys actually can't train and eat, absolutely fucking as like do everything that they can, because they will just outgrow their fucking weight cap. So they actually have to be a bit more chill. Whereas a bodybuilder, like, we're 24/7 every single day, every year, trying to put on as much size as possible. Where for a lot of these guys have to sort of, it's a lot more strategic. They're trying to refine body parts and bring out detail here and there. Where we're trying to do that too, but we're also having to every year, like, yeah, it'd be great to put on maximum amount of size. We don't have a weight cap.
Yeah. It's interesting because
And I don't think people want to do that.
yeah, that's something. Even like I think, like, no offense to bikini, I've grown to have appreciation for the category. I used to to be honest, I used to shit on it, but I have appreciation for the category now, and I think it's a very, very hard category to, it's a specific look they want, and I think that open, classic, even men's physique, figure, women's physique, what they have to do in prep, I was talking to Renee Archer about this, like they have to do in prep is a lot harder in comparison, but it's the look that bikini is chasing. I think judging wise is that flip side, like it's a lot harder than comparison to the other divisions. But kind of looping back to what you're saying is that I'm finding like what I think why bikini is so, popular is because it's that much attainable, a lot more attainable, or even a lot of women are going, it's one thing. I think it's good for the sport, but at the same time, I think it also takes away from, a lot of people get this misunderstanding of what it means to be a bodybuilder, because someone who loses a whole bunch of weight all of a sudden or is in the fitness industry or in the gym goes, oh my god, I'm gonna do a competition, oh my god, I'm a bikini athlete now. But it's like
bikini and men's physique are almost like walk-in classes.
Yeah.
Like, how often do you just like be out in the street and you see people that, without even dieting, training, or anything, look like they could just enter a bikini contest or a men's physique contest? Like, a lot, like, it's a sliding scale, the spectrum. Bodybuilding's at one end, and then there's everything in between, and there's bikini and men's physique. Well, maybe not men's physique, but bikini is definitely probably the easiest. Like, you should be able to get in that shape by accident, you really should.
That's right. And also, that what I said before about fucking like not having to push quite as hard, that don't, if you're not a top amateur, don't fucking listen to that and use that as an excuse to, oh yeah, Jaiden said I shouldn't have to work that hard, especially if you're one of my clients. No, you're all small. You're not at your top of your fucking weight cap. Then no, you have to fucking, like most classic guys, yes, you have to try to get as big as fucking possible because you are not close to your weight cap yet. If you're at the top end of that, then you gotta be more careful.
Yeah.
All right, one more question, and then I thought we could wrap things up with like some would you rather's. Last kind of like proper question is so for example, I've said it to a couple of people, with the past showing that just happened, the past show. I feel that, especially to do with the men's division, the judges were basing it off of size. Because let's say the show's judged by symmetry, proportion, muscle mass, and then conditioning. And I felt like they were somewhat maybe favoring the size and mass in comparison to the others. But on that is that someone brought up, and I agree with it to some extent, but I'm not sure. I'm interested to hear what your opinions are on. Do you think that no matter the show, not one of those three things should be favored more than the other, and it's just the luck of the draw who shows up? Or do you think it is, because I feel that, for example, with the show, the reason why I think mass was kind of favored a little bit more was due to the average of the athletes on stage. The average was more, there was a lot more size in comparison to maybe, symmetry or condition. There was a lot more people had a lot more size than condition. So people who had the condition but were lacking on the size because of the average, they kind of maybe missed out on a placing, because even though they brought the symmetry and conditioning, the size was just a bit shorter. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, what do you think that that's fair, that we're going to base it off an average of what all athletes are? Or do you think they should always stay true to, okay, well, if this person has mass, but this person has symmetry and conditioning, that's 2/1. Where do you,
I personally think it should be whoever has the best combination of the three.
So I didn't say anything then, because I knew everyone was going to try and talk one.
That's right. Me and Jaiden talk over the top of each other all the time. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
You go, mate.
Yeah. No, I'd say that, like, I actually reckon there's a bit of inconsistency with it, to be honest, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what they went for. Like, really, I sometimes very obvious, but other times it's very hard to pick. Like, even in our shows, for example, like Luke has a lot more density and mass than I do, and then I ended up like beating him at the Queensland show, and Luke didn't place that well. He came in more conditioned for the national show, and I was softer, but I still had much more detail. But he had that mass and just absolutely wiped the floor with a lot of people who are a lot more detailed. And then you have like people like Louis who shape way better than everyone on stage, and mass, like, he also had fucking way bigger legs and way nicer legs than everyone up there.
Thanks, man.
But they still awarded conditioning. But they still awarded conditioning in that sense. And then you had people like Stan who got second, where he had the size, he had the shape, he had the symmetry, and Luca ended up getting the pro card when he just had freaky conditioning. So I'm like, are they picking conditioning? I thought they were always picking conditioning, and then again, like I was saying, in nationals, Luke beat me on density. Like, he had way more density than me, and that's why he got me at nationals. But then when it came to like juniors with me, like, I had a lot more density than George, but they favored conditioning there. So it's like, even at Queensland's, I was actually a lot more peeled. I'm not more peeled than George, but more peeled than I was at nationals. He was fucking diced. He was way more diced, but I had a lot of density on him. I was fucking almost 20. I was 10 kilos heavier than him, and yeah, they still favor conditioning there. So, but then they're not favoring conditioning across the board. It's strange. It's hard to pick.
Do you think it could be they have a certain criteria for state show and then it gets changed for nationals? Because I was talking to someone too, and she was saying that what she got told at states, she made that improvement for nationals, but then she got told something completely different, that there was no issue with that at the state show.
Yeah, they're actually harder on conditioning at national shows based on what judges' feedback I've got before. So they've said, like, conditioning was good. However, you wouldn't have done as well at a national show with this conditioning. So by that, I'm guessing they mean that, they're a bit more strict at national shows on conditioning.
It's a luck of the draw as well with the judging panel. Like, that's something you can't forget either. Like, objective, and you just got 7 people's opinions that matter of you right now. So they might just not like you as much as they like that guy, or it's just going to be that simple. And it often is. And the point that Sam made to me the other day was that, and this is what we were talking about before, that when the lineups get deeper, it's easier to let people slip. Like, how hard can you look at 7 guys all together when they're hitting the side tricep for 8 seconds? You know, how much can you do that?
And that's when you really need to, you know, I guess, stand out, or, you know, have that one pose. So I guess, like you're saying, let's say, you know, you slip out in a side try, but you in a back double you slip back in, so then you get the focus back on you, I guess. So it's, you know, I guess having so someone who is very, I guess, proportional, symmetrical, if they don't have that particular pose or certain feature that really pops out, they, like you're saying, in a deep lineup like that, you may just, unfortunately, even though you're the best person on the stage, may just slip out.
Yeah. And that's where I think confidence with posing is so important as well. Because there are so many guys I've seen who have unreal physiques, and they'll be up there in the call out, but they just won't be very assertive with their posing. And they'll kind of just get like overlooked because they're just not being very powerful with their shots. Whereas you watch guys who are like, you know, in the under 80s, under 70s, who are a lot smaller, but they'll come out and they'll just hit these jutsus, like really hard shots, real like good posing and just well presented, and people just pay attention to them. And I think that's a big thing too, because if you're coming up there and just going, and just kind of mamby-pambying your shots, everyone's just
mamby-pambying. All right, man.
Maybe that's it. As soon as we see it at season 8, I'm gonna call it out in the crowd. Mamby-pambying right there.
Mamby-pambying.
Yeah, post-show wrap-up. Luke, mamby-pambying up there. Just absolutely.
Luke mamby-pamby Zillmann.
Deserved 3rd place.
He didn't mamby-pamby. He could have took out 2nd.
Yeah.
Next time.
Be more assertive.
Yeah, I guess you're all, you know, it all kind of, it is like what you said, Louis, that, you know, I guess no matter how much you want to kind of plan, or I guess not put blame, but, you know, try and say, oh yeah, okay, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. It's just, you know, the luck of the draw. The judges, you know, how they feel. One dude could have been pissed off for some reason and didn't like big guys that day. He wants to give all the condition and the symmetry people the win. So I guess, you know, like you're saying, it's just, you know, be present and just enjoy the moment. And it's luck of the draw.
I think it could even potentially be different amongst classes, maybe. I don't know, because I was talking to Scotty about this the other day on our shows, and like how I was saying, when I did juniors, you know, George beat me because his condition was fucking wild. But then we went up against people in under 100s who, like people like Riggsy, whose condition was fucking insane, and we still beat them. So I was like, where are they awarding juniors more condition? Because it is harder when you're younger to be in that condition. So they like, is that like almost gain more respect, because it's like, oh, these younger guys are actually able to get in condition. But then they're, you know, when it gets to the opens, it's like, oh, well, fuck, you know, they're opens, they have to be big and dense. So then they're awarding that maybe a little more. Yeah, no way.
It depends who you're standing next to, man. Like Riggsy's got a crazy physique. But if you stand next to Riggsy, that's just going to make your shape shine. So it's definitely who you stand next to as well.
But
yeah, that's true.
But then do you think there's that issue of, I feel like they don't move people around enough? Like, I feel like everyone should get a chance, you know, in that first, second, third spot, or everyone should get a chance in the first spot, and then they reshuffle out, and then they go, okay, here's first, second, third. And then how can, you know what I mean? To give that, because like you're saying, someone who's, you know, stuck in this 5th, 6th spot, but if you move them into first and then have them stand next to someone else, oh, okay, this physique actually shines a bit more here. All right, now let's move who we had in first place. And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people don't get moved around a lot either. There was a couple of boys in season 8 too who, you know, I thought were a really good package, but they didn't get moved at all. They just kind of, like you said, got slipped away. It kind of ignored.
Yeah, I think that'll actually, I think that's another reason why bikini need their own day. Literally, because the reason they don't get moved around is because they're trying to fly through the day, so they're not there till fucking 8 p.m. If they actually had more time, they could, you know, take it a bit slower, make the shows more, I guess, dramatic, or have more of a more hype around it. maybe MC a little bit more as well, and actually, have a like more entertaining show.
Do you think, so you reckon states should also be, because I did really like what they did with the women's on the Friday, men on Saturday. Do you think they should do that with state shows as well? Just to kind of separate that, and then they can give the time needed for the athletes to, shuffle around and stuff like that? Or do you think it's only necessary for the pro card show?
Depends
I
on
don't,
who the
think,
show
I don't
is.
think you need to do it for a stage show.
Yeah, nah, I'm with Louis. Yeah,
There's not 3 girls doing bikini at a stage show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well,
they could. Yeah.
no,
yeah,
you say what you said. Got an idea?
Oh, I was just gonna say like, yeah, they could be doing it, but no, I think it is better just to fucking fly through it. The Queensland shows or the state shows in general, just fucking
just give more
let them
time
go, get through them
for the nationals.
Yeah, a bit more time. Yeah.
Are we doing would you rather's?
Yeah. So I got four. I think they're pretty decent ones. So we'll run them. And then we'll go from there. So first one is, would you rather, and this is perfect. You all have misses, so this is an awesome one. Would you rather your missus to have a bigger back or bigger arms than you?
Bro, Hannah's got a bigger back and bigger arms than me. I don't need.
You live in the dream.
Bigger back or bigger arms?
Bigger back.
Bro, if a chick had bigger arms than you, Luke, I'd be worried.
So would I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be back.
Bigger back.
Back makes a shape way more dramatic too,
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go with
Gives
that.
that more
It doesn't have
extreme
to-
anyway.
She doesn't have to be hitting back double buys all the time, making you feel inferior,
Yeah, but if you're walking around holding hands and her arms just got to be over top of yours because her lats are so big, then that might be a bit.
Yeah.
So which option is going to make you feel the least non-masculine? Like which one is you're not going to feel inferior to, I guess?
Yeah, it's got to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The second one is, would you rather train at a gym that has the best environment but shit equipment, or shit environment but the best equipment? Which one?
That's literally just World Gym or a private gym. That's exactly the case at the moment.
I would prefer environment over equipment any day.
Yeah, 100%. That's just why we all moved from from the commercial gyms.
Did you choose environment?
Yeah, environment, 100%.
Oh, I'd go the equipment. The environment can go fuck itself. Who cares, man?
So
actually, it depends.
I don't
it depends
care
what you mean by environment. Yeah, it depends what you mean by environment. Because if you mean just other people training hard, then it's fuck that, I don't really care. But if you mean other us boys and your mates and other competitive bodybuilders who you're all friends with, then that.
Like for example, talking to Scotty and that, with Rick's gym, you're all there, or even Sam's gym, everyone's there. We being in that type of environment where you're all training hard, but unfortunately it's all shit equipment. So let's just say all hammer strength.
You
can't
really have.
I can deal with all hammer strength.
Shit equipment. Yeah, I can't really have shit equipment unless it's real fucking there's not really bad equipment. If it just has hammer strength and then barbells and dumbbells,
wait, that's an equipped gym, if you ask me.
Yeah.
As long as it all works okay, that's the biggest thing. Because I've been to gyms where they have so much.
World gyms just have fucking hammer strength anyway.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So you're getting shit equipment and shit environment.
So then pretty much you reckon that the environment and the people that you surround yourself in the gym is more important than where you train? Because some people would dictate otherwise. So
it's all in a fucking range, right? I couldn't train at fucking Anytime Fitness Caboolture and be the level I am now. But to be fair, that's shit equipment and shit fucking environment.
Yeah,
But if
it's
there
just
was
it's
like,
just shit across
even
the
if there
board.
was, yeah, shit across the board, yeah. But like, I think, yeah, I think there's a range. Like, you can't be a fucking decent bodybuilder with a bunch of good people and you're in a fucking empty studio room with a couple barbells and dumbbells. Like, in that case, yeah, I would choose a gym like that's fully equipped with no environment over that, because we, like me and Luke being away from the Gold Coast have done that fucking until we met each other.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
And
there's nothing.
even with fucking Louis, yeah, being up in the alley and shit like that, I'm sure he didn't have
man,
an
I've
environment
trained.
up there.
I used to train in this warehouse looking gym in Tassie where it was like, I swear, colder inside than it was out. And then up in the heat, early beach, man, like sweating it out in the sauna box. And then coming down the Gold Coast, man, the gyms are unreal. But I think when you learn how to train alone, it doesn't matter what atmosphere you're in, because you're the atmosphere. So it's up to you anyway. So you may as well have sick gear. Yeah.
So
It makes a good
I
point.
think it all depends on what you come from, because that's right. We all came from, we learned how to train first, and then it was good. But if you haven't learned how to train by yourself, then it's going to be fucking useless, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Would you rather have the unlimited capacity to grow your forearms or your calves?
Calves.
Forearms.
Yeah, you've already got big enough calves, Louis. You don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm straight.
How much? Okay, I always wondered, like, how important do you think? Because calves don't really get judged on stage. Maybe in pro shows, but it's that stipulation. Even then, in pro shows, that calves don't. If you have good calves and it helps with proportion, I think may give you an extra point or two. But if you do have shit calves, it's not that important. What are the contrary to that to forearms? Do you think having small forearms but having big biceps and triceps, like, do you think it creates it's still an imbalance? Like,
Yeah,
because a lot of people,
it would. I think it's much more noticeable if you have just like disgustingly small calves rather than disgustingly small forearms.
And a small
Yeah,
forearm is going to play into the illusion of your upper arm being bigger too.
Yeah.
So that's not all bad.
Yeah.
I think
I don't think like.
You're right.
You go, I don't think that I don't think it's been judged in a sense where, like, if you have fucking great calves, you're gonna fucking get ahead of the other person.
Yeah.
But in a sense where it's like, if it's tight and you have if it's tight and you have shit calves or shit forearms, and it's like they're fucking struggling to choose, they got you two comparing or something, like, yeah, it's gonna hurt you.
Like, fucking must be close though, if that's the case,
That's
yeah.
That's a close show.
But we've seen it though. Like, even look at fucking in April shows, like, bro, Callum and Mateus, whatever his fucking name is, did like 6 rounds, bro. They they kept them going and going and going, and it's like, if there was one thing wrong with one of them, then they would have lost.
Yeah.
So next question is: would you rather win? Okay, would you rather win your pro card in a show where, like, the lineup shit?
Hey, Jake, you haven't answered any of these, by the way, man.
All right. My bad. Let me go back. All right. Would I rather? Yeah, I would rather my missus have a bigger back than bigger arms.
My nigga.
To be honest, I would have to agree with Louis. Like, I would rather the gym with a good equipment for the same type of mentality. Like, I've been training by myself now for quite some time, and I've I had to learn to get in that zone and push myself, and kind of, don't get me wrong, when I've trained with other people and people that I enjoy training with, it definitely, like you're saying, really brings that extra energy, extra push. It definitely changes the session as a whole. But, like, my biggest problem with, like, training these days is commercial gyms are just shit. I hate all the fucking equipment. I hate hammer strength. I hate I honestly would like to leave World Gym. Like, no offense to World Gym, but their latest bullshit with, like, the Loco 88 or Rep 80, whatever it is, like
Gym 80.
Yeah.
Close.
I just find, like, I remember when Stafford first opened and I went to Gym 80 and I was like, yo, this is sick. They got, like, these cool plate loaded chest exercise. I'm like, they have good coverage in press and that. So I'm getting on it. But like the lever, you push it down to get the weight up. And then just even the range you put yourself with your elbows and your shoulders.
It ain't right. Who is that machine built for? Who are any of those machines built
Bro,
for? Wait, when
it's
those
like
machines
fucking this high above your chest.
when those machines come to Ashmore, I was like, sick, man. Some new fucking kit. All right, cool. Next chest and back day, I just went around and tried all of them. And then I have never used any of them again. I think I put most things in front of those. It's a bit of a shame, but I don't know. I think machines have come such a fucking long way, man. Like they're making shit now, like all that prime stuff. You know, choose your strength curve. Oh, yes, please. What do you mean? Like, save the money buying those junk that no one's using. It's just getting dust all over it, and just buy like 2 or 3 good bits of kit, man.
Yeah,
you're right.
Absolutely. I would much rather like quality of equipment than quantity. Like have just good pieces and don't worry about filling this huge space. If you can just get some expensive good pieces, like just fucking run.
Bro, you're only doing 4 fucking exercises per muscle group, and 2 of them are usually free weight anyway. Like, I don't need many machines.
That's why like I love Sam's gym, and I can't wait to go check out Scott's gym, because like Sam's gym is so like, you know, hand-picked. Like, yeah, okay, he has a few leg presses, but he's got like, you know, a squat press and then an actual leg press, and then, you know, it's just those perfect equipment in comparison to just like, oh, here's 4 different back exercises from this one equipment that's just a piece of shit, quite frankly. So that's that answer. And then I don't know. I feel like I have really small forearms, but I also have shit calves. But I think you're right. I think calves is the way to go.
If you have neither, like, take calves, because at least you're self-esteem.
That's right.
Like there's just, I remember the first time I ever saw Logan Robson's calves. Calves when I joined at World Gym Ashmore, and I was just fucking like, they're fucking huge. So yeah, definitely would like to get some calves over.
I feel like you get more credit for having big calves.
Yeah, you get more respect for sure. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of almost a genetic trait, I guess. You know, that because especially for someone like myself, like, you know, I have high calf insertions, so like they're just, no matter how big or how hard I train them, they're always gonna kind of look semi-small in comparison.
Yeah, there's only so much surface area.
You can do. Yeah. And then, all right, there we go. I answered the questions. Now we're up to date.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, would you rather win a pro show? No, would you rather win your pro card in a show that had like a shit lineup, or kind of like, you know, no one really turned out, or never win a pro card, but
the first one?
Yeah, 100%.
The first one.
But then on the stipulation of that though, is that like that's why I'm unsure, because like, let's say you're always going to win overall, so you'd always be an overall champion multiple times, but you never win the pro card. But if you win the pro card and no one really showed up, then that's an assumption that then you do pro shows, you're not going to have a career anyway.
I'd rather the second one.
Nah, it's not for certain that you wouldn't have no career. You just beat
still build.
The only thing. That's the thing. You just beat. So it's not, the pro card is entry level pro league shit. You know, that's just it. It's just graduation to the game.
Yeah, like you're starting again.
Yeah, that's right.
The second option,
you can still build.
The second option, you can never win your pro card.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, fuck that. No, the first one.
Yeah,
that's right. Because, like, yeah, you might build a better physique, like, or whatever, like, have a better physique and be more respected, but whatever. But like, you literally never can get a chance to even have a career. Yeah, it's literally just a matter of
open the door and be
good.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I didn't think
right.
so.
Yeah, you might get shit on for like winning it over no one. You might get shit on, but it's like people forget about that in a couple of years when you're actually good enough to be doing.
Well, it's about what you do following that anyway.
Yeah. Only one of those options, only one of those choices allows you to be a professional athlete. I'll take that one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's right.
Now I realized how dumb that question was.
Yeah. Would you rather eat 10 plates of pizza or not eat at all?
Oh.
Actually, I'm gonna have to call a lifeline. Yeah.
I actually got asked like a fucking really hard one the other day, and someone said, "Would you rather look like Phil Heath, but never win a show and you can never compete, or keep your physique now, but you're always this physique now and you can never never improve. It's like you can never improve from now, or you look like Phil Heath, but you can never compete, and you can't train.
Oh,
Bro, if you look
That's
like Phil Heath,
tough,
you can't
right?
train, you can't compete. You got a sick rig and a whole lot of free time. You know.
I think I have to agree.
Or
I
you can always or you can always keep training. You can always keep training. Let's say, you can always keep training and improving, but can't ever win.
Nah,
Yeah,
I want to look like Phil Heath. I like me looking like this now. I'm not going anywhere competing. So I'd rather just have that free time, like Louis saying, and just have one of the best physiques in the world.
You wouldn't need to compete anyway. Just take a few mirror selfies and you're a superstar on Insta. Done.
Then you're famous. You can do what you want.
Sell some ebooks, do some coaching.
Just sell your socks to all the weird dudes on the internet and just make bank.
Yeah, you can probably make bank just from fucking selling a shitty fucking workout plan. Even though you know nothing about training because you never trained before.
Yeah. So is that what's everyone answer? Everyone answers.
I'm running with Phil Heath.
Phil Heath.
Yeah, I said the same.
Jake?
Yeah, I said Phil Heath. I was the first one to answer it. Oh, definitely.